Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I have another what's for dinner video for you today. I only have a few dinners in this video because I did eat a lot of leftovers, which was my plan because I'm keeping it simple, keeping it budget, and cleaning out my freezer and pantries. So if you want to see what I had for dinner this last week, then stay tuned. Okay, so I'm getting the chili started. I'm using my pressure cooker. I'm going to do it as a slow cook though because I'm making this before I go to work. So I just have the saute brown setting, getting that heated up, and I'm going to start browning up the meat. So normally I do a 3-meat chili, but I'm going to do a 4-meat chili because I'm trying to use up things in my refrigerator, my freezer. So I had some country sausage, some ground beef, some bacon, and then I'm also going to put some stew meat in there. So it's all things that I had. I had all this stuff in my freezer. So it's just about a 1/4 pound of sausage, a 1/4 pound of ground beef, and then I did 4 slices of bacon, and I'm going to do, I think it's a pound or 1/2 pound of the stew meat, but I'll show you that. I'm just going to cook this up a little bit before I put the stew meat in there. So I added in some veggies. I'm not a huge fan of mushrooms, but I like their nutritional value. So I do dice them up very, very finely. So I have some minced mushrooms, I have some onion, some green bell pepper, and some red bell pepper. So I'm gonna mix that in there, then we'll be ready to throw the stew meat in and then the spices. Okay, so I added in the stew meat and it is 1 pound. I'm just gonna leave it chunky because it's gonna be in the crock pot all day. So I'm not gonna worry about cutting it up. Normally I would cut it up smaller, but I'm not gonna worry about it. So now the spices. We're gonna do about 2 teaspoons of oregano. I'm just going to do a dash of red peppers, tablespoon of chili powder, 2 teaspoons of cumin. I'm just going to do probably about a teaspoon of garlic powder, maybe 2 teaspoons of garlic powder, and 2 teaspoons of onion powder. I like to put my spices in before the liquid. I like to warm up the spices. It helps bring out the flavor in them. Okay, so now I'm going to put in a can of tomato paste. This is tomato sauce, and then some diced tomatoes, and then also a can of beef broth. Oops, it's upside down, but I already opened it. So all this is going in, and then we'll be setting our chili to slow cook. The last thing to put in is a tablespoon of like some kind of brown sugar substitute. I'm just using the golden sweetener from Lakanto, and this helps break down the acid of the tomatoes. Okay, so here is my chili. I'm going to set this at slow cook for 10 hours because that's how long I will be gone today at work. And so I'm just going to do this on low for 10 hours and it'll be ready to go when I get home, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to put on the side. So I had made an extra pizza crust during meal prep, and so I'm going to make this into garlic bread. So what I'll do is I'll make a garlic butter and then spread it on there, put some cheese on top, put it in the oven, and then I'll have some garlic bread, cheesy garlic bread to go with my chili tonight. So this wasn't on my meal plan, but I wanted nachos so bad this week. I had a bag of the Quest ranch tortilla chips in my cupboard, and I've done this before, and I was like, yes, this is what I need. So I just took the whole bag of Quest chips, which is like 4 net carbs, added on some Colby Jack cheese, some taco meat, some avocado, and some sour cream, and that's it. And you guys, this totally satisfied my nacho craving, and it was just a yummy, filling meal. So sticking with the theme of cleaning out my freezer and pantry, I had some pork chops, also had some broccoli and cauliflower that I've been trying to use up, and so I am going to make a loaded cauliflower and broccoli casserole and some pork chops. So in my bowl here, I have some broccoli and cauliflower that I already steamed in the microwave. I'm adding to that a 1/2 cup of mayo, a 1/2 cup of sour cream, adding in some cheddar cheese, and then I'm also adding in 1 tablespoon of heavy cream. And then I pre-cooked some bacon, and so I'm just chopped that up, added that in there. And as far as spices, I'm just adding in some garlic powder, onion powder, some black pepper, some chives, and I'm just going to mix that around really well. And then that is going to go into a casserole dish. I am using a 13x9 casserole dish. And I'm just spreading that out in the casserole dish. I did grease the casserole dish, by the way. And this is going to go into a 375-degree oven for about 15-20 minutes. Oh yeah, and I did add some Monterey Jack cheese on top of that before going into the oven. So while that is cooking, I'm going to go ahead and prep my pork chops that I found way deep in my freezer. So I knew I wanted to use them up. I'm using some of the FreshJax Grill Master on these, and also some of the FreshJax toasted onion. So I'm just going to sprinkle that on both sides of the pork chops, and I'm just going to go ahead and fry those in my skillet in a little bit of butter and mixture butter and avocado oil. And here is my finished plate. That casserole is super good. It's so good that I'm actually making it again this week. I bought another bag of cauliflower and I'm going to make it again this week because it was fantastic. Okay, so the next night for dinner, I had the Just Like the Real Thing lasagna. I've made this several times before. I did prep ahead of time the meat sauce and the noodles that'll be in my meal prep video. I will have linked down below. And so I'm just taking a loaf pan and I'm adding in some of the meat sauce in the bottom, adding on one of the noodle layers, and then some more of the meat sauce. And then the next thing I'm adding is some mozzarella cheese, and then I'm adding in 3 tablespoons of cottage cheese. You can use ricotta cheese for this. I don't like ricotta cheese, so I prefer cottage cheese. And then another noodle layer, meat sauce. So you get the drill. It's just the, layering. You're going to end it with the meat sauce on top, add some cheese, and then this is going to go into a 350-degree oven for about 15-20 minutes. It's really just making sure everything gets all melded together. And here it is out of the oven. So good. I did end up serving this also with a side salad, and I had made some cheddar biscuits earlier in the week, and so I served them with those biscuits as well. And on this night for dinner, I had a pizza. So I had pre-made my fathead dough crust in my meal prep video, so you'll see that linked down below. So I made my own pizza sauce. I just take some tomato paste or tomato sauce and add in some spices, and I just spread that on the bottom of the pizza crust. I'm not a huge pizza sauce fan, so I never put a lot anyway. I was out of mozzarella cheese at this point, so I just used some Colby Jack cheese, added some pieces of salami, some pepperoni, and then I had pre-cut some peppers and onions during meal prep as well, so I just sprinkled some of those on top. And here it is. Just put it in the oven at 425 degrees for about 8 minutes. And here is my finished plate. So I did pair mine with half of an avocado because I did not have all my fats in for the day. This is always a good meal. I did like having the crust pre-made, so I highly recommend that if you do work outside the home, because it made my life so much easier already having this made. And it really does satisfy that pizza craving if you guys have that as much as I do. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch my video. If you are not subscribed, I hope you will take a moment to do so. Also, give this video a thumbs up if you want to see more What's for Dinner videos. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.